Dangerous weapons such as guns, shotguns cartridges, motorcycles, Nigerian currency, and other items were recovered as exhibits.
Heads of various security agencies, the military, the civil defense, the DSS, non-state actors, Amotekun, Nigerian Forest Guards, local vigilantes, and those who have been giving us information.
The Commissioner of Police, Ondo State, Adebowale Lawal, disclosed that the victims of the Ushu Church kidnapping included pregnant women and a mentally challenged person who were reportedly kept in the church for healing and delivery. According to him, 11 suspects have been arrested in connection with the kidnapping through a joint operation involving the police, the Nigerian army, and local vigilantes, adding that one of the 6 abducted victims has been rescued while investigations are ongoing to dismantle the criminal network behind the attack.
Ondo State boss suspected kidnapping syndicate arrest 10, recover ransom and operational motorcycle in Akure. On the 23rd of February 2026, following a combined operation between the Command's Anti-Kidnapping Section and visiting PMF personnel approved by the deployment of the Inspector General of Police that immediately passed IGP. To Ondo State as operational support, operatives still mobilized to locations along Ondo Road based on credible and actionable intelligence. The intelligence-driven operation led to the arrest of 10 suspects believed to be connected to the kidnapping syndicate. All the suspects apprehended are Murtala Mohammed, Mustafa Damu, Usman Ibrahim, Amin Suaruna, Ashiru Abdulaziz, Abdullah Sani, Ibrahim Suraju, Noah Isaku, Abdullah Suraju again, and Arabi Ahmed, age 18. The average age is between 18 and 25.
He stressed the need for spiritual leaders to suspend night worship for now and strengthen security consciousness, including compliance with the state government's directive on the installation of CCTV cameras in places of worship. The police commissioner also confirmed the arrest of 6 suspects over alleged fake miracle performances designed to defraud unsuspecting members of the public. He further provided an update on the recent attack in Idori during the APC World Congress, which claimed 3 lives, revealing that 13 suspects connected to the incident would be charged to court. The police boss disclosed that from January to date, the command has recorded multiple arrests across various offenses, adding that 8 kidnapped victims have been rescued so far.
Summary of crime statistics and operational activities recorded from 1st January 2026 to date. Kidnapping 50, murder/homicide 10, unlawful possession of firearms 15, armed robbery 17, rape defilement 5, cultism and other related offences 41, other offences 168. The arrests were effected through coordinated tactical operations, credible and actionable intelligence gathering, stop and search exercises, and community collaboration across the state. SB recover firearms recovered 15, ammunition recovered 35, motor vehicles recovered 6, motorcycles recovered 11, victims rescued 8.
Speaking of the security challenges posed by the thick forest around Ala, Ogbese, and Iluabu, the commissioner confirmed the discovery of about 19 camps behind the airport vicinity and over 42 camps around Ikwili, with profiling of occupants ongoing. While assuring residents of the Commerce commitment to securing the state, the commissioner promised more collective patrols by security agencies to achieve desirable results. Omoriola Ngbeji, Osrc News.
As Nigeria prepares for the 2027 general elections, attention is once again shifting to campaign finance regulations under the amended Electoral Act, with significantly higher spending ceilings approved by the National Assembly. Many are asking if these new figures represent stronger regulation or simply an expansion of how much candidates can legally spend. Our correspondent Sunday Adeyanju reports.
Nigeria's amended Electoral Act has introduced major changes to campaign finance limits ahead of the 2027 general elections. One of the major striking adjustments is the upward review of spending caps for candidates seeking elective office. a sharp increase from what was provided in the previous Electoral Act. Under the new provisions, presidential candidates can now spend up to 10 billion naira, doubling the previous limit of 5 billion. Governorship candidates are permitted to spend 3 billion naira, up from 1 billion. For the National Assembly, senatorial candidates now have a ceiling of 500 million naira, while House of Representatives candidates may spend up to 250 million. At the state level, House of Assembly candidates are allowed a maximum of 100 million naira. Lawmakers say the increases reflect current economic reality, rising inflation, escalating media costs, logistics, security, and nationwide mobilization expenses.
Look at it politically. The money being spent by our politicians on campaign issues is too much now, honestly. To finance the whole campaign issue is a lot of money. So I think this electoral, that's probably implemented by the federal government, compared with the electoral reform tool, will help to minimize at least to reasonable extent the amount being spent on the elections.
While the revised limits appear more flexible, observers argue that the core issue has never been the figures themselves, but compliance and enforcement. In previous elections, civil society organizations reported that actual campaign expenditures often exceeded the legal ceilings. The present question now is whether the existing monitoring mechanisms are robust enough to ensure adherence. Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) is legally empowered to monitor power finances, audit campaign returns, and sanction violations. However, concerns remain about institutional capacity, real-time financial tracking, and effective post-election auditing. The amended law still requires candidates and political parties to submit detailed financial reports after elections. It also prescribes penalties for breaches, including fines and possible disqualification.
We don't even have a template to capture campaign finance over time. So the fact that it has just been reviewed somewhat is basically to just say, okay, we are trying to do one or two things to help the economy, because we all know election years are always fraught with unusual spendings, particularly dollarization and all of that. So all of these are just, maybe say, I call it maybe interim plans to see how the economy can actually survive and recuperate because of some of the midterm policies of the CBN. But the truth of the matter is that it has never been complied with. Look at the issue of campaign financing. It is not something that you can actually monitor, because over time you see people come together and say, yes, they are sponsoring this, they are sponsoring that. And what you can monitor or limit is the party and the candidate, not crowdfunding, not support, not friends of campaign, all those things. So it's kind of technical and difficult. And for us as a nation, we are yet to get to that system where you can actually monitor spending, strictly speaking. We are yet to be there. So it's good. The purpose of that is, if there are people who probably are being targeted, it is very easy to see how they can meet them and get them. But the truth of the matter is that it is more obey the breach. And of course, there are templates to that effect.
Yet, analysts point out that enforcement has historically been weak, with few high-profile prosecutions for campaign finance violations. Some stakeholders are calling for stronger collaboration with INEC, anti-corruption agencies, and financial intelligence bodies to track major political expenditures more effectively. Others advocate the use of technology-driven monitoring systems to detect suspicious financial flows during campaign periods.
We don't have the system that is functional in Nigeria. The EFCC will probe only those people that are not in the ruling party. The ICPC will probe those who are not in the ruling party. The police will be running after, will be guard to people in offices, and leave other parties, Nigerians, to care for themselves. So we need a system that works. Until that happens, there's no collaboration that can work in Nigeria, and it's unfortunate.
Critics, however, warn that higher ceiling could further entrench money politics and widen the gap between wealthy candidates and grassroots contenders. As Nigeria moves steadily towards 2027, a true test of this revised limit will lie not merely in the figures enshrined in law, but in transparency, accountability, and the political will to enforce compliance. For now, the debate continues. Are these tougher controls or simply higher allowances? Only the next electoral cycle will provide the answer. Sunday at Diyanju, Osrc News.
The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has uncovered an alleged internal compromise within its rank, announcing plans to dismiss 3 staff members accused of selling unauthorized access to the board's examination portal ahead of the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME). The sweeping action forms part of a broader nationwide offensive against examination malpractice as the board moves to safeguard the credibility of its processes. Ishaq Oloyede described the development as serious assaults on merit and fairness in Nigeria's education system. He revealed that investigation exposed organized criminal syndicates, some deploying artificial intelligence tools to impersonate JAMB officials and swindle desperate candidates. Oloyede maintained that the board possesses the technical and institutional capacity to curb examination malpractice, but lamented that enforcement actions often attract public criticism. Benue State is grappling with a severe outbreak of Lassa fever with 45 confirmed cases and 10 cumulative deaths recorded out of 250 suspected infections across the state. The state epidemiologist Dr. Suega Asema reviewed the figures during an assessment visit by the Commissioner for Health and Human Service, Dr. Paul Uguche, to isolation centers at the Benue State University Teaching Hospital, where patients are currently receiving treatments. According to Asema, a disturbing number of health workers have been infected, including 5 medical doctors, 4 nurses, 2 community health extension workers, and a hospital porter. He noted that the growing rate of infection among medical staff underscored serious concerns about infection prevention gaps. Ebonyi State Governor Francis Nwifuru has approved the indefinite suspension of the Commissioner for Works, Stanley Mba, and the Commissioner for Infrastructure Concession for Development, Ogbonaya Abara, over allegations of dereliction of duty. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Monday Uzo, the governor directed the affected commissioners to immediately hand over all government property in their possession, including official vehicles, to the state secretary to the state government, Grace Umezurike. The suspension comes amid heightened scrutiny of public projects in the state capital, with residents calling for improved efficiency and accountability in the delivery of infrastructure initiatives. Gunmen have kidnapped Francis Igwe, the father of a former deputy governor of Ebonyi State, Dr. Kelechi Igwe. The elderly man was adopted while on his way to church in his Ndufo Alike community. Reports have it that Igwe was driving when armed men riding a motorcycle intercepted his vehicle. The police public relations officer in the state, Joshua Ukando, said the assailants double-crossed him, forced him out of his car, and whisked him away on their motorcycle to an unknown destination. Ayatollah Arafi has been appointed as the acting supreme leader of Iran. This is coming after Iran's Expediency Disarmament Council elected Arafi as the jurist member in the Leadership Council. The Leadership Council is responsible for carrying out the duties of the Supreme Leader until the Assembly of Experts selects a successor. The 67-year-old cleric who serves on the powerful Guiding Council was confirmed as part of the 3-member body by the Expediency Council. Arafi will serve alongside President Masoud Pezeshkian and the Chief Justice Ghulam Hossein Mohseni Ejei on the Interim Council, which is mandated by law to oversee leadership responsibilities during the transition period. You're watching Social and Community News on Osrc Television. We take a break now. When we come back, it will be time for Social and Community News proper. Welcome back to the social and community aspect of the news. You can watch us live on our digital channel Moplex 720 on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. After 5 decades of informing, educating and entertaining residents of the Sunshine State and beyond, the Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation is celebrating 50 years of robust broadcasting. Blessing Obe reports that the Golden Jubilee was marked with a celebration that brought together veterans, past leaders, retired and serving staff, as well as well-wishers under the theme honoring the past, celebrating the present, embracing the future.
The story of Osrc began in 1976, shortly after the creation of Ondo State from the old Western State. The corporation has since become a consistent voice in the state media landscape, providing daily radio and television transmissions to millions of residents. 5 decades later, the corporation rolled out the drums to celebrate its Golden Jubilee. Osrc Director General Kenneth Odushola Stevenson described the anniversary as a moment to reflect on past achievements and set goals for the future.
For 5 decades, the institution has served as a bridge between leadership and citizen. We have covered elections. We have aired dissenting views. We have amplified community concerns. We have scrutinized governance. We have celebrated progress.
A lecture by Professor of Political Science and International Relations Femi Mimiko highlighted the role of governance in shaping the media space.
The Nigerian Constitution provides specifically Section 22 for the media to act as the agents of the vehicle of accountability, to do oversight as it were over governance. But that this huge social capital, statutory social capital that Constitution provides for the media will not be discharged if the media does not conduct itself appropriately in terms of being credible before the audience.
Had staff to reflect on the journey so far and how Osrc has evolved. Over the years.
Ondo State itself would always remember Radio 711, OSBC, OSRC, ODTV, ODRC, and we are here today. We are happy.
We have to be jack of all trade and master of all. Mastering any type of a production or presentation, you have to double. You do this when it is assigned to you, you do this when it is assigned to you, and no complaints. You must do it joyously, and the production must be the best.
Since inception in 1976 to date, Osrc has been a very fortunate father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. It has given birth to several broadcast stations over the years.
And to have 50 years of celebration now in conjunction with Ondo State at 52 is a monumental event.
Directors and staff station can meet global best standards.
Very fantastic and momentous event, a historical event, an event that is going to be going to be unforgettable in the lives of especially the management and staff of Osrc Media Group.
If Osrc is celebrating 50 years of broadcast excellence, that is to tell you that Osrc is the cradle of journalism, where you have people that were trained, who are now captains of industry in terms of broadcasting. That is the journey so far.
Firstly, we have to thank God for the opportunity that He grants us to see 50 years. Because we have some of the workers, some of the staff now that they are not there before, even most of us. Some people that came from Ibadan, the pioneer of that place, they did a good job. That is why we can say we are celebrating today.
To see how Osrc has grown, especially with the two arms added to the radio arms, the Orange 94.5 FM and the Alalaye, and then to be one of the people that God has chosen to oversee one of the most important departments, news departments of Orange 94.5 FM. It's a good thing for me, and I'm happy to be alive.
The celebration also featured a display of the rich culture of Ondo State. Represented by his deputy, Olaide Adelami, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa said Osrc has remained a pillar of information dissemination and a bridge between the government and the people.
Through changing political landscapes, technological revolutions, and evolving audience expectations, Osrc has stood firm as a beacon of credible broadcasting and responsible journalism.
The celebration featured the presentation of awards across various categories, ranging from health, education, and agriculture to veteran journalists and individuals whose contributions have impacted the growth of the corporation. 5 decades on, Osrc, the nation's star station, stands as a key voice for governance, culture, and information in the Sunshine State. Blessing will be for Osrc Social and Community News.
Indeed, 50 years of broadcasting is a great milestone for a station like Osrc. We say congratulations to management and staff of the station. And that is where we draw the curtain on today's social and community news. Thank you so much for being part of it. Good night.